And like, I'm struggling to get invested in the Seth and Rey feud because of the stipulation. Like, I think I would have been just way more into this if it was a straight match or an Extreme Rules match or something. But the fact that they're really putting over that someone's eye is going to get gouged out, because when I hear that, and I think that and WWE, I think the fake spider. And I'm like, WWE cannot do special effects particularly well. And do I really need to see Seth Rollins getting an eye gouged out? And then is he going to wrestle with an eye patch for the rest of his career?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because I think we've always known there's a few things you can't bring into wrestling, because wrestling walks that tightrope so finely about what is real and what isn't. And it's like it's always in danger of jumping the shark and going one step too far. That's what happened to me as a teenager, when it just went one step too far. And I was like, this is rubbish. Why do I watch this? This is a load of wank. But then, like, you know, slowly come back into it when it's in a better period. Now, guns and knives are typically the things you can't bring into a wrestling feud, because where do you go from there? You can't stab someone in a wrestling ring. It just doesn't work as an idea. And I think
tell that to Jesus. He stabbed John Cena in a nightclub.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I know that there's a couple of famous gun angles which actually worked incredibly well, but the idea of shooting someone, however, properly doesn't, I would argue. So when you get into this, I think WWE have got drunk off their own movie match success, because they've done a really good job of it. I enjoyed Money in the Bank, but it was over the top. And if someone did fall off the building and then turned up the next night, which I know they did, but they kind of explained it.
They fell onto a smaller room.
There was a smaller building just underneath the larger building. Don't worry. That would have been a jumping of the shark moment, I think. And it would be hard to invest. It undermines the entire product. And I feel this literal eye extraction stipulation, which the commentators put over so hard, that it'll literally be him ripping his eye out. My mind just goes, well, that's not real. This is dumb. And it's such a shame, because I think this has actually been a really good feud with really good characters.
Yeah. And it kind of raises the question then, like, as you say, where do you go from there? Because when we come around to Hell in a Cell in October, you can't really push that as like the most demonic structure. No one goes out and says like, I don't know, but a few months ago, this lad lost an eye. Like, surely that's now the most dangerous thing. You can't tell me this one's dangerous, because no one gets hurt there. No one loses an eye in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at the top there's some exposed spires, but it's just, like I said, it's a shame, because there's a lot of people involved in this storyline. Humberto Carrillo, Aleister Black, Dominic, Buddy Murphy, Austin Theory. There's Kevin Owens. There's a lot of big, serious peripheral players to Mysterio versus Rollins. But you've got this stipulation that is just always going to stop you from putting on anything good ultimately. And then weirdly, they have a match between Murphy and Black. Black wins by DQ because Seth gets involved, and then Seth and Kevin Owens have what I actually think is a really good match. They play off so well against each other, but you've got the baby faces surrounding the ring, so you're like, oh, this is the big revenge receipt match for the pay-per-view.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I felt like Seth is getting his comeuppance now, like 6 days before the pay-per-view is on, and Seth then becomes like this valiant babyface that's fighting against the odds.
Yeah, it's so psychologically backwards, but I'm like, oh, it's okay. Murphy comes back down. Theory makes his return. They beat up the guys at ringside, attack Dominic. Seth wins. That's how this goes. But no, Kevin Owens beats Seth Rollins. So all of that heat that Seth has built up that should be sort of released, the pent-up urge to see Seth finally get revenge waged upon him, that's kind of gone now.
Yeah, because they got the revenge. It's like what we were saying about the Ruby Riott thing. It's like now the Riott's beaten the Iconics, so I don't need to care about a Liv Morgan return because Ruby won. She beat the baddies without her help. And now, like, Rey's effectively beaten Rollins, like, and all of them beat Rollins. They got their revenge on him. Like, why do you now want to gouge an eye out?
Literally gouge an eye out.
Yeah.
Literally extract an eye from someone's head.